Have you heard that they dupe our sister? They dupe our correct Igbo sister. Have you heard? Have you heard? Have you heard? Anyway, imagine meeting the perfect man on vacation. Tall, handsome, wealthy, royalty, an Olympian, a tech millionaire, the type you only see in movies. Now imagine finding out he was none of those things, not one. What happened next became one of TikTok's biggest scandals. Yeah, one of TikTok's biggest scandals, and this is the Danish deception. Hello everyone, welcome back again to my channel. My name is Wemimo and I'm also known as Thatmumof5 and also known as TMO5 Kaniko. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. And yes, people will be like, oh, stop talking about this gossip, stop talking about this gossip. I know there's a lot going on in Nigeria right now. I know that for us to protect our mental health, that is why I'm bringing one of these stories and why I've been bringing those of Panedu and Redna Daniels. I am Nigerian, but we still have to keep up to date with what is happening, and I'm bringing this story because I want to cool our mental health. Okay, so this story, I am sure you all are up to date with the story of our own Niger daughter who was scanned by Oyinbo Pepe, Shuku Pepe, like ow. Today I am diving into the story that feels like a Hollywood thriller, a viral series that exposed a big whirlwind romance, financial manipulation, and a deception so deep that it left viewers around the globe speechless. It left me speechless. It's not compared to Ifunaya's own. This is not a fiction and this is not a TV show, okay? So this is the real story of a woman who fell in love with a man she thought was a Danish prince. Only to discover a shocking truth that will spark one of the most talked about series on TikTok. In fact, I think this is the second most talked about TikTok story that I've heard. Ifunaya was the most first one that I've come across, and then this one the second. So this is a story, this story starts with Onyeka Ehie, a Nigerian American, a hardworking woman who was obviously exhausted after juggling 2 jobs and desperately needing a break. So she does what many of us dream of, she books a trip to Europe with a friend, a chance to recharge, to breathe, to let her hair down, enjoy the good food, the weather. You know how it is when you go to holiday in Europe, right?
Okay, so it all started in June of 2022. I was in a place in my life where I was working 2 jobs. I was working like a dog and I knew I needed a break. So I reached out to my friend, Sarah, who was living in Germany at the time with her husband, and I said, let's take a trip. Let's go somewhere in Europe. And she was so down, and we were trying to decide where we wanted to go. And we decided to go to Hvar, Croatia, because we wanted somewhere that was like a cute local town that was by the water, but it wouldn't be as crazy busy as other places in Europe.
Right. On day 2, at a beach in Croatia, she sees the prince charming. Yes, tall, 6'3", blonde hair, blue eyes, a jawline sculpted by the gods. He approached her with confidence of a man who's never heard the word no. And the stories it tells her, reality, wealth, Olympic level athlete, a tech genius, a landlord with properties across Denmark. It sounded unbelievable, right? Yeah, because it was. What she didn't know is that this trip will change her life forever. Yeah, so she changed the story changed her life. Like, how can you, how can they dupe you? The love bombing started within days. It sweeps her into a fantasy, luxury resort, yachts, bottles of champagne, private drivers, romantic trips to Monaco, St. Tropez, and Cannes. It pays for everything. It calls her a soulmate. It talks about the future, kids, marriage, a home in Europe. This is what scammers do best. They sell you a dream that will never come to pass. And you, if you're mumu, you go heading.
Okay. So he sent me this message saying, you should come to Ibiza this weekend. I'm going with a bunch of friends. And he's like, I'll send you the flight. Everything will be paid for. And I thought about it for a second because, come on, who wouldn't want to go to Ibiza? And then I thought a couple of reasons why I didn't want to go was mainly because I just bought a Chanel bag. So I was like, I want to work and make more money. And also, I felt like this is the type of guy that things come easy for him. And this is not something that's going to be easy for you to obtain. And I didn't want our first weekend to be like just partying together with all of his friends. Like, that's not what I wanted. So I ended up telling him no, but I just ended up saying that I needed to work. And I thought he was never going to talk to me again. But somehow this like lit a fire under him, and he became even more persistent, and he started pursuing me even more. And he was sending me messages like, when are you going to come visit me in Copenhagen? Or I would love to come to Dallas to come see you. And I was just like, who is this man and what's happening? Still not really taking him serious. And then maybe like a couple weeks later, he sends me another message. And at this point, we're still talking pretty consistently on Instagram. We still do not have each other's numbers. And he sends me a message. He says, hey, I have a work conference coming up in Monaco, and I would love for you to come. And I read that message, and I was like near the south of France, like that Monaco? And he was like, yeah, like I can get you your flight and everything will be taken care of. And I was like, okay, well, give me some time to think about it, because I didn't want to say yes on the spot, but I was like, okay, this is something I definitely want to consider. So I thought about it for a while. I talked to my friends about it. I talked to my sisters about it. At first I was like, I don't think I'm going to do it. Like, this is crazy. And then over time, I started like talking myself into it. And then one morning I woke up and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go to Monaco.
The first cracks started after a few weeks of perfection. Things shifted. He asked for small favors: a bank transfer, a flight issue, a frozen account, tiny cracks in the illusion. Cracks disguised as emergencies. Guys, this is a summary, okay? If you want to go watch the full episode, I'll put that TikTok handle here so you can go watch it, okay? So the financial web mystery. Now, the money request is now getting bigger. IRS problems, a massive tax situation, $318,000. Real estate deals stuck in processing. Crypto locked up. Soon, he starts borrowing money from Onye's friends, a family, a circle, like a perfect storm of emotional manipulation and financial entanglement. I don't know how this babe fall into the kind of thing. Like, I be Naija babe. Like, no. Anyway, he is not a prince, so he has no money. He is not an Olympian. He is a gambling addict, a compulsive liar, a man fueling his lifestyle with other people's money and sweat and toiling with emotions. The entire life he sold her was a performance. Like that song that Rihanna sang, and a round of applause, standing ovation. That was what he sold this girl. So none of his identities checked out. None of his claims matched reality. Onye realizes he has done this before. After she started, searching for things about him, she realizes he owes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And she also realizes she isn't alone. She is another victim in a long line. However, some people are saying that Onyeka is not a victim. Now, how did Onyeka escape this guy? Leaving someone like this isn't easy. I'm sure you can agree with me. Manipulation creates a chemical bond, but she does it. She escapes. She divorces him. And then, bravely, she tells the world what happened because the damn Monaco or European prince dared her. Yes. The Danish deception, thousands commented. Women everywhere share their stories. This becomes more than entertainment. It actually becomes a warning, okay? It is a warning. For those of you who have watched it, I want you to take lessons from it, okay? So let me share some key lessons and themes with you. Number one is the love bomb and luxury vacation. Faces creates a strong emotional anchor, making it harder to spot red flags early. And then the rapid progression, from vacation to commitment to money requests is a noted pattern. 3, financial requests early on in a relationship, especially big ones. Big, cross-border or for trust me reasons are a major red flag. D, claims of extreme status, royalty, Olympian, a millionaire, can be part of the sales pitch for his scam. And as a Nigerian, you should know the mix of romance and financial entanglement plus social/family circle Involving these people increases your risk. And also, lastly, transparency, boundaries, verification. A simple Google the royal claim, check the job company said, don't lend or fund anybody until trust is earned. This is very, very crucial. Very, very crucial, okay? Now, let's discuss the caveats. All of this is based on Onyeka's narrative, okay? As with many, many viral stories, there are critics who question parts of her story, her interpretation, her responsibility in the event, and also being a willing participant and not being a victim. Here is what somebody had to say.
She's not a victim. She's a willful participant. The Danish deception is a classical case of a Nigerian woman or an African woman that is hell-bent on marrying a white man. The Danish deception story is not new. She's just bold enough to talk about it online. We actually have a subsection of Nigerian women that are hell-bent on dating only Oyibo. If it's not Oyibo, they will not date. Even though the Oyibo looks like somebody that is straight out of the trailer park, they don't care. Provided it's Oyibo, our proximity to Oyibo, it does something to our brain. It's almost orgasmic. I've seen the Nigerian men marrying their grandmothers and the women marrying Rumpelstiltskin in the name of marrying Oyibo. Yeah, you now marry, you now brush him up, you now do this, wear him good clothes, and they will now call it that girl effect. Hey, oh, rishi. How much did you give him again? Anywho, this is none of my business. This is just gossip, but that's my 1 cent. She's not an anomaly. You see her friends group? I beg you, you're not a victim.
So you guys heard that, okay? Some details also, for example, amounts you owe to her, how the money flows, the timing may be approximate or still developing, okay? It's always wise to treat social media story time with both empathy and obviously critical thinking. Guys, let me know what you think about this Onyeka story if you've watched all of our 27 series. Now, I've got some takeaways for you. If you are watching or you've watched the series, it's very, very useful as a warning story about mixing romance plus heavy financial commitment early on. However, as with any first-person narrative on social media, details might be incomplete, one-sided or dramatized. It's wise to keep a critical mind, which is what I am keeping, so I will not be saying too much. For your own situation, red flags might include constant borrowing, inconsistent stories, secretive behavior about finances, mixing friendship, family money with romantic relationship too early. However, guys, let me know what you think about these things. But before we go, I have a few questions for you so that we can continue the conversation in the comment section. 1, do you think this was love or manipulation from day one, and why? 2, what was the biggest red flag you noticed in this story if you've watched all of our series? 3, have you ever ignored a red flag because you were in yori in love? Number 4, do you believe this prince actually planned this as a scam, or was it just unstable? 5, at what point would you have walked away? 6, do you think luxury distractions can blind people? Why or why not? 7, do you feel sorry for him, for her, or for both? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Number 8, is this story a warning or just an extreme case? Number 9, would you trust someone you met on vacation this quickly? My own answer is capital no. And last but not least, should she have shared this story online or kept it private? Leave all your thoughts and answers in the comments and let's keep the conversation going because I think there's still more to this story, okay? Oh, by the way, our grandmother broke her silence and here is what she said.
Hello everybody. I am Onyeka's grandmother and I don't appreciate how you lot have been talking about my granddaughter. Onyeka, we brought her up in love and trust. People do make mistakes. They do make mistakes. So, she found this Danish boy that she liked so much. And she brought him home. And some of you are saying, well, there was no way her parents could have paid for the traditional marriage. We come from a place of affluence. We are very, very wealthy where we come from. Onyeka is a bright young lady. She works so hard for her money. So what? She trusted the man she fell in love with and gave all her money away. So what? People do make such mistakes. She loved the man so much, and she was ready to make it work. If not that the foolish boy left her and went back to his country, they would have still been married today and we would have still been supporting them because it's for better or worse. Some of you don't come from a family of love. Some of you come from broken homes. Some of you, your hearts have been torn apart by wild creatures out there, like the person my granddaughter married. Some of you, where's my water? So, leave Onyeka alone. I know some of you are jealous of my daughter-in-law. Oh, she's not my daughter-in-law. She's my granddaughter. You know, sometimes when you're aging, you don't remember some things. So, Onyeka is just that she's a white girl in a black person's skin. She does not understand. Oh, some of you, you're damaged. She's a white girl. So, she wants to have a white established man. So what? What is wrong with it? A lot of you are saying she's Igbo, she should have more sense. You Igbo person, where is the person you married? You married a poor man. Leave Onyeka alone. Leave her, we support her. If she brings another white Englishman, we will take him. We don't care about you black people. You black people with your black heart. We are rich. We can support all the men we want to.
So you guys heard what Grandma said there. You heard. Let me know what your thoughts and opinion are based on everything. The Danish deception isn't just a story. It's a wake-up call. A reminder that anyone, yes, even smart, successful women, can be manipulated by someone who knows exactly what strings to pull. If you found this breakdown summary of this story eye-opening, please make sure to hit the like button, share, join my membership and subscribe because I have more deep dives into the internet's wildest stories coming soon so I can protect all of your mental health. Stay safe, stay aware, and remember, sometimes the prince you meet is actually the villain. Peace out.